Hello everybody, welcome back. Now I'm going to cover servlets. Today I'm dealing with the introduction part. Actually, what is servlets? Before knowing about the servlets, you need to understand some points. That is, what is a web application? A web application is a server-side application. It runs at server and provides service to multiple clients across the internet. A web application is server-side application that produces web pages onto the browser. A web application is a collection of web resources. Now, what are the types of web applications we are having? We are having presentation-oriented web applications, or also known as static web application. And second one is the service-oriented web applications or dynamic web applications. To develop presentation-oriented web applications, we need just HTML pages and the images. And these type of web applications will only concentrate on providing the presentation to the client. Second one is the service-oriented web applications are created using HTML images, servlets, JSPs, XML, etc. And these type of web applications are concentrating on providing services to the clients. For example, an online tutorial is a static presentation, and Gmail, Yahoo, etc. are dynamic web applications. The web applications like Yahoo and Gmail are providing services to the clients like mail and chatting. A web application is also defined as a collection of passive and active resources. And in internet, we are having two types of messaging. What are those? Passive or offline messaging and active or online. In passive messaging, sender is in the login state, but receiver may be in the login or logout state, but the message is transferred. This is called as passive or offline. Example is the email. And second one is the active or online messaging. This needs both the sender and the receiver to be in the login state. For example, chatting. Now, in a web application, passive resources are executed at the browser and active resources are executed at the server. For example, HTML and image both are passive resources and execute at the client browser. So, now what is a servlet actually? Servlet technology is used to create a web application. Servlet resides at the server side and generates a dynamic web page. And this servlet technology is robust and scalable because of Java language. Robust means strong. And before servlet, we have a concept known as CGI, Common Gateway Interface, was common as a server-side programming language. But there were some disadvantages in CGI. So to overcome these disadvantages, we came to servlets. That I will discuss later. And there are many interfaces and classes in the servlet API, such as servlet, generic servlet, HTTP servlet, servlet request, servlet response, etc. Now, what is a servlet? Servlet is a technology which is used to create a web application, as I said. And this servlet is an API that provides many interfaces and classes. And servlet is an interface that must be implemented for creating any servlet. And servlet is a class that extends the capabilities of the servers and responds to the incoming request. That is, servlet can respond to any request. And servlet is a web component that is deployed on the server to create a dynamic web page. Now, what is a web application? A web application is an application accessible from the web, and web application is composed of web components like servlet, JSP, filter, etc. and other elements such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And these web components typically execute in the web server and respond to the HTTP request. Now, what are the disadvantages of CGI? There are many problems in the CGI technology. That is, if the number of clients increases, then it takes more time for sending the response. And for each request, it starts a process. And the web server is limited to start processes. So process is a slow technology. That is, for each request, CGI requires a process, and it uses platform dependent language like C and C++. And there are many advantages of servlets over CGI. The web container creates threads. In the case of servlets, the web container creates threads for handling the multiple requests to the servlet. And threads may have more benefits over the processes, such as I discussed in the previous videos, threads share a common memory area, and threads are lightweight, and the cost of communication between the threads are low. And the advantages of servlet are better performance because it creates a thread for each request, not a process. And portability because servlet is poor because it uses Java language. And robust, servlet is strong. JVM manages the servlet, so we don't need to worry about the memory leak or garbage collection, etc. And servlet is secure because it uses the Java language. So now I'll stop here. I'll continue in the next class.